the confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium, where this evening the Senators will try to earn a split on the back end of this double dip weekend after falling short to the number 8 team in Class 2A last night here on the Ron Smith Court, the Henryville Hornets. Meanwhile, the Jug Rocks come to town after being bit in the doghouse by Tom Bradley's Orleans Bulldogs last night. So this evening, it's a battle of 8-win teams. It's the Senators and Jug Rocks, and your countdown to the tip starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast of Senator basketball will be my sidekick and broadcast partner, Senator football's own Mark Gibson. For the Senators, again, last night's performance was hopefully a glimpse into a very bright future for this Senator ball club. Despite being down late to a Henryville team by double figures on a couple of different occasions, Senators were able to battle back and make it very interesting. In fact, with about 2 minutes to go, they were able to get that game down to a 38-30 score and had possession of the basketball, coming up just short on a little turnaround jumper. But they did show a lot of fight and a lot of grit to make it interesting down the stretch. And, of course, the number 8 team in 2A, the Henryville Hornets, showed exactly why. Now they've rolled off 18 in a row and why they are so impressive as a favorite heading out of the 1A South, or 2A South region, rather, of Indiana High School basketball entering post play. It was Nick Mars, the homecoming king, who led the way for the Senators last night with 13 points on the evening, the only double-digit scorer, but perhaps more impressively, it was the defensive effort of freshman guard Parker Green on scoring sensation Nick Walker for the Hornets as he held him to just 16 on the night, 10 through the third quarter, and forced him to get the rest of his points at the free throw line as Parker did a stellar job in that box and one defense. So tonight, again, the Senators trying to bounce back. We'll see if they can get a big win here at home against Shoals. They've already defeated them once back on December 29th in a game played in that Springs Valley Holiday Tourney, where the score was 50-46 as the Senators escaped shorthanded without the services of senior Nick Mars due to the flu. We appreciate everyone tuning in to tonight's broadcast and our Senator Tip-Off pregame show, slightly abbreviated, but that's okay, as we thank our sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator basketball possible: John Jones GM City, Eddie Gilstrap Motors, and Ace Hardware, taking care of your pregame, halftime report, and your post-game show activities here from the Ron Smith Court, as well as McDonald's, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, and of course, Brady Bishop with Channel Seed. Take our first break of the night. Hear a word from the Indiana High School Athletic Association. When we come back, we'll be joined by Senator head coach Mr. Sean Smith to get his thoughts on last night's matchup, as well as looking ahead to tonight's matchup with the Jug Rocks. You're listening to Senator Basketball tonight on Salem's 1220. We'll have more in just a moment.
Before the big plays, before the magical moments, before all that discipline, dedication, and teamwork finally pays off, comes your support. The IHSAA Foundation is dedicated to protecting, sustaining, and nurturing education-based athletics in Indiana. Its work will ensure IHSAA member schools and coaches receive the support they need so that Indiana student-athletes receive the opportunity they deserve. Learn more at ihsaafoundation.org.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show as we bring you down to the opening tip here tonight between the West Washington Senators and the Shoals Jug Rocks. Shoals and West Washington both entering this matchup with 8 wins on the year. And we're joined now, as always, on this portion of the show by Senator head coach Mr. Sean Smith. Coach, tough one for your team last night against a very good team in Class 2A Henryville.
Yeah, absolutely. We threw everything but the kitchen sink at them defensively, and really I thought we did a good job on them defensively until we had to come out and try to pressure them, and when we had to extend our defense, they just do what veteran teams do. They, I think, had like 7 seniors and 6 or 7 seniors, and so their veteran presence, just pressure doesn't faze them. They're gonna take that pressure and turn it into offense, and they were able to do that some, and then they were also able to, again, when we would take some quick shots, we got where we had to kind of take quick shots, they were able to turn that into transition baskets. They get the board, and 22 it seemed like would just take off flying down the floor and get some baskets that way. But for 3 quarters, I thought we defended them really well and gave them some issues, and we made their best player, Walker. We really made him work for the majority of his 18 points. And offensively, we just we got to have, when we had opportunities, we got to step up and make shots. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, we had some opportunities early to get a lead, and then if we get a lead, then we can start dictating things, and we couldn't get it done, and we had to play catch up from the very beginning, and that was just tough to do.
And we talked a little bit about Walker's performance for Henryville in the post game last night. A very, very quiet night, I felt like, for him for the most part through 3 quarters. You're holding to 10 points, and of those 5 field goals, like we said, 3, maybe 4 of them, Parker had a hand right in the guy's face. So give credit where credit's due to the Walker kid. A great showing for him, but a quiet night. As far as the scoring, wasn't quite as flashy as one might have expected. But as you touched on, with Dunn coming off of the bench, being very instrumental for them, especially in that first quarter of play, it was those extra pieces we talked about in our pregame last night that kind of hurt in other areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Walker, again, we really focused a lot on him and slowing him down, and making someone else beat us, and give Dunn credit. He stepped up and made plays for him. We really want to focus on him and Green. Green's shooting like 70% from the field almost on the year. He's just a real smart player. There's a couple times we fell asleep, and where a younger kid will still go ahead and run the play, he just stepped in an opening and got a layup. And that's what a veteran player does. They get it, and you got to give him a lot of credit. He does a nice job, and Robertson gave us some issues with his length defensively. Had some big blocks, and like I said, Dunn, give him credit. He came off the bench, and that's why they're a good team. They have a lot of guys who are stepping up when people try to take Walker away, and but Walker's good. I really like that kid as a player. I mean, he's just an efficient scorer, and I would venture to say he'll probably approach 1,500 points on his career, if not more. And he's just been a really nice player for them, and certainly glad to see him graduate as an opposition. But just as a basketball fan, I just really like the way he plays. It's he's fun to watch.
Felt like one big positive to take away from last night's game. Of course, you had it 38-30 there early on in the fourth quarter. Late with an opportunity and with the ball. But when you look at the scoring, of course, just 15 points through the first 3 quarters, but you put up 15 to match your first 3-quarter total in that final period of play. So that's pretty big with a young team playing such a veteran group again. Yeah.
Well, we picked the pace of play up, and of course we were able to score a little more, but unfortunately they scored a lot too. But we had some shots, had some guys step up and hit some shots off some sets we ran, and that was good to see. And we just need to see more of that. When we run stuff for people, we gotta knock shots down, make plays, and we were able to do that a little bit, but we got to do better, here over these last couple of games and in the tournament.
Coach Smith's team falls 48-30 last night to the number 8 team in Class 2A, Henryville, and Coach, that now causes you to turn your attention on the back end of this double-dip weekend to a Shoals team that you guys are pretty familiar with. You played them over at Springs Valley on December 29th, able to walk away with a 50-46 win. Just talk to us a little bit about how you approach this game, knowing this personnel package pretty well for Shoals.
It all starts with number 23, Tensioner. He's a load. We were very fortunate in that game against Shoals over at Valley to get him in foul trouble twice. The first time around, we didn't take advantage of it. I really thought, when we got him a couple over the back calls there in the first half, we really wanted to put the pedal to the metal a little bit and make a push, make some hay, but we didn't, and we actually found ourselves down 5 at the half, and I thought, oh boy, we just missed an opportunity here, and this isn't good. But the second half we were able to continue to kind of puzzle them a little bit.
First grade, Carter Smith. And third grade, Holden Russell. shots. Fifth grader Ava Woods. Ava made 8,000 shots. Sixth grader Kenton Chase made 13,350 shots. And eighth grader Lane Hofer. And Lane made 9,700 shots.
By our pregame sponsor, John Jones GM City. Very simple tonight, Coach.
Our congratulations to these Senator Shooting Club participants. Great job. Let's give a big hand. All right. This evening you will notice that our senators are in the National Guard uniform. This evening we're supporting and in cooperation with the Indiana National Guard, we're showing tribute to our veterans. So if there are any veterans that have served or are now serving, please stand and be recognized.
So many because they paid so little. Summer and some of the performances from some of our young kids getting plaques and stuff tonight. Also, the National Guard providing uniforms for our boys tonight, so they're in a little bit different unis. We'll step aside, we'll take a break. We'll hear from our pregame sponsor, and we'll come back with the starting lineups and opening tip between the Jug Rocks. Tonight, the Senators set to take on the Shoals Jug Rocks in the back end of a double dip weekend here tonight. Am I supposed to throw those? Okay. Man brought some ducks to Chuck at halftime, courtesy of Debbie Bad, I assume. So she wants to be in the running for the $25. Let's bring you tonight's starters. Again, brought to you by John Jones, 1-800-ISL-GM, 1-800-473-5546. He'll start a three-guard set. Will the Jug Rocks coming in with that 8-12 record. Overall, number 3, Johnny Sukup, 5'9" and a junior, averages just under 6 points per game. He'll be joined in the backcourt by number 11, Kenyon Sartles, a 5'10" junior at 3.7 points per contest. And also in the backcourt, number 32, Max Fisher, 6'2" and a sophomore at 7.1 points per ball game. Up front for the Jug Rocks, number 14, Dason Wright. He's a 6-foot sophomore at 3.2 points per game. He'll be joined by 34, Reese Sherrill, 6'4" and a freshman, 5.6 points per game is his average. This team averages 50.4 and gives up 48.2. They suffered a 61-47 setback at Orleans last night. Sean Smith, 60 and 40 in his fourth season in Campbellsburg. His team averages 47.6 and gives up 48.7. They lost last night here at home, 48-30 to Henryville. They'll start Bousman, Zink, and Green in the backcourt. Holden's a 6-foot freshman averaging 8.5 a game. He's joined by Cam Zink, a 6-foot senior averaging nearly 3.5 per contest. Parker Green, a 6-foot freshman at 6.8 points per outing and nearly 4 rebounds. Might mention Holden leads the team at nearly 4 assists per game as well. Up front, a little bit of a change. 32, Jake Strange will start at one of the forwards. He's a 6'4" freshman at 4.5 points per game and 2 rebounds. He's joined by senior Nick Mars, 6'3" and a senior at 9.9 points and 4.5 rebounds per contest for Coach Sean Smith's ball club. Series the last 30 years between these two clubs. They had a few years where they were on a little bit of a hiatus, and then the series picked back up here recently in the last few years. Rather, 20-5, Senators dominate the series, and Sean Smith is 3-0 in Campbellsburg against the Jug Rocks. Senators have won 12 in a row against Shoals. Shoals in their road blue uniforms, royal blue, trimmed in black and white letters and numerals. Senators in those special National Guard uniforms tonight, white trimmed with gray letters and numerals. Mr. Steve Eichert, David Yeary, and Gary Tyree, your IHSAA officials for this evening's matchup. Steve Eichert will toss it up. Nick will control the opening tip, and away we go from the Ron Smith court. Missy Jones alongside of Mark Gibson, bringing you tonight's action here on 1220 as the Shoals Jug Rocks open up with a little man-to-man defense in the half court.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see. The first time we played in December was one of our best shooting nights of the season. We were shot almost 50% from the floor, so hopefully that continues against this defense.
St. gives it off to Green now on the right wing. He'll pass it over to Bousman. Holden, high post feed, left side, gives it off to Mars. They'll swing it back to Parker, who would look to go off the dribble drive. Instead, he's cut off by Fisher, and they'll have to pass it back out to Holden, top of the key between the circles. Now left side, they go high entry this time, left elbow into 6'4" freshman Jake Strange, who gets to start over Harrison Sanford tonight. They feed to Nick, he'll kick out to Parker, and being very stingy defensively are the Rocks in this half-court man-to-man. They go back to Nick. Turnaround jumper on the baseline, way off the mark, nothing but an air ball. And it's the freshman Sherrill who pulls it down. Just over a minute gone by in this first quarter of play. This shows his first possession of the night.
Nick just got a little bit impatient there. I thought it was just we were doing a nice job being patient, but you know sometimes when the defense forces you to take that many passes, you get impatient and force up a tough shot. Looks like Nick picks up a kind of a cheapie out top.
34, Nick Mars, his first free throw.
We got a little Coach Smith got a little 30-second timeout. He was not happy with the way Senators moved down on the offensive end. You know, they were doing a nice job being really patient, but Shoals doing, you know, they were sitting in their stance, just straight man-to-man. We got a little lethargic, where we weren't moving our bigs, and sometimes that can happen. Like I said, Coach Smith inserted Jake into the lineup, so you know sometimes as a freshman you get in there, maybe you kind of aren't sure of yourself. So Coach Smith gave the entire team a little tongue lash there.
Sorry about that, Coach. I had to leave you hanging for a little bit. I thought I was going to choke to death there for a second. That'd be bad. We're only a minute and a half into this one. I was going to
say, you're already anticipating the chuck-a-duck, I think.
Oh, man. Got choked like nobody's business. 3 ball off the way will not go for Sukup, and it's pulled down by Parker in the far corner. See if I can get myself together here.
Have to give you some of my Halls and Eucalyptus.
Oh, I had to get a drink of water. That was bad.
I tell you what, Coach Smith just absolutely laced into them during that timeout.
Strange catches, bobbles it in the high post. Coach Smith now going to go to the bench, and he said, I've seen enough. Harrison, let's roll. Let's see if Harrison comes alive here tonight. He's been quiet the last few ball games as the Senators turn it over for their first time of the night. Back to the other end. Sherrill thought about 3. He'll feed it off inside the right. And it's Wright that's able to finish right at the basket. And Shoals scores the first points of the night, and they own a 2-0 advantage. 5:40 and counting here, first quarter, as Harrison gets a word from Coach Myers at the scorer's bench, and a nice flex cut from the elbow. And Jake Strange on the board for West Washington, so it's our first official tie of the night at 2 apiece.
That's what Jake's got to do. He was so confident on that cut. I mean, he went hard. I mean, sometimes it's tough as a freshman, especially as a we've talked about it before. As a freshman big, you're not quite grown into your body yet, and you're a little bit unsure. You know, it's like Parker and Holden. You know, it's a little bit easier for smaller athletes to I don't know how to say it, to actually, be comfortable in their own, athleticism, if that's the way to say it. It's tougher for big guys.
Nick Mars checked out after that dead ball situation, the first turnover of the night for the Jug Rocks. As Harrison's in, working with Jake, and underneath, Jake goes strong. And the big man, the freshman, Jake Strange, with his second basket of the night. The Senators have their first advantage at 4-2. Our first lead change. Fisher with it on the wing, gives it up to Sukup. On the reversal from Sorrels. Sukup will give it back now to right, out top. Fisher surveys the damage, looks inside at Sherrill, instead goes back out top to right. Sorrels with it, kicks it back out top. Shoals now trying to exercise some patience on the offensive end. Jake doing a nice job in the man-to-man in the high post, working against a fellow freshman in Sherrill. Nice dribble drive take, getting into the paint though, and Johnny Sukup has his first two of the night. And we're tied once again at 4 apiece.
Yeah, Jake did a nice job cutting them off. We got to make sure we cut off the penetration alleys there. We got to watch Sorrels. He hit 3 triples against us last
How about that?
time.
Harrison Sanford right off the bench. He's able to give the Senators the lead back, and at 6-4, halfway through this first quarter of play. Good sign for Harrison to score quickly on an aggressive take off the bench. Steve Eichert with the whistle, and it'll be a travel. And that'll be the second giveaway of the night for the Jug Rocks. 2 giveaways for the Rocks, 1 for the Senators. 6-4 your score, 3:52 and counting, first quarter of play. And we're on Smith Court. Jake catches, high post, little flare screen across the way. Holden couldn't catch and shoot. Parker will instead on the reversal. Bang! Got it to go. Top of the key. Parker's got the first triple of the night for West Washington, and the Senators enjoying their largest advantage now at 9-4.
That's good. Like I said, when we played these guys the first time, I don't know, we were just confident. I mean, we haven't shot over 50%. We were right at 50 the first time we played.
Nice spin move getting into the paint. Fisher, though, going to be whistled for the travel.
Fisher had a big night against us when we played in December. He had 15.
Only double-digit scorer for the Rocks in that first meeting over at the Hawks Nest back on December 29th in the Holiday Tourney consolation game. Able to break pressure. Coach Smith walked through this with his guys when they first arrived here about a quarter after 4 this afternoon. Doing a little walkthrough against that 1-1-3 or 1-1-2-1, kind of a hybrid matchup zone press. And we'll see our first substitutions. Interesting enough, Clayton Tishner and Ryan Hawkins, the 2 true big guys for Shoals that really do a lot of their damage. Tishner actually averages about 15, 16 points a ball game. Didn't get the start. Don't know if he's in the doghouse with coach or what. He said he didn't play well at Orleans last night. And it's the Senators who have their second giveaway on that last possession. Senators with Green, Bausman, Zink out there with Sanford and Strange. And again, Tishner into the ball game with Hawkins for the Jug Rocks. Out there with Fisher, Sukup, and Sorrels, the original 5 that started against West Washington back in December.
Yeah, that's you gotta watch. You gotta have a hand up in Sorrel's face because he will pop it.
Sorrel's going to kick it back out to the wing. Force Hawkins to bring it out, kind of reset. Hawkins, by the way, a 6'2 junior at 6.8 per game. Tishner, a 6'5 junior, again at nearly 15 points, or a little over 15 a game.
Fairly young team. We always talk about how young Senators are. It's a pretty young Jug Rocks team.
Tishner steps. They tried to lob it over, and Zink did a nice job of forcing him to go over the top by fronting, and Zink pushed him far enough under the basket to the baseline where he actually stepped out. That's going to be turnover number 4 already for the Rocks. And we're going to see that little matchup zone press again. Tishner and Hawkins in the back of that with Fisher, and underneath they pass ahead to Sanford. Again, they worked on this in the walkthrough about 4:30 this afternoon. 2:07 to play, first quarter, our first foul of the night on the Rocks.
Last time we were down here, Parker tried to find Sanford on the lob and just missed the bucket. So that time was more of a safe play.
Each team with a personal foul here. 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Crossover by Holden, feeds it short corner right side. Harrison will take and be fouled on his way up. Maybe took a little shot to the midsection too.
It's good to
it's
see
gonna
him
be-
being more aggressive this opening quarter. You know, we talked about it off the air that the last 2 games Harrison hasn't even attempted a shot. So, you know, he's already got a bucket here, bucket tonight, and an assist, and now he's going to the line.
Coach, that's huge because that's Hawkins' second already off the bench. So short little cameo appearance for Hawkins in this first quarter. That'll bring the freshman Cheryl back in. As Sanford at the free throw line for the year, a 54% shooter, entered tonight 23 of 43. Missed that first one. Second one on the way for Sanford, true to form, able to knock it home. So give him 3 off the bench. And I think sometimes, you know, Coach, especially young players on a young team, they put so much stock into who starts a ball game. And really, that's just window dressing to me. That's nothing that you should get uptight about, because it's not about who finish or who starts.
Absolutely.
It's rather how you finish and who finishes well in the ball
And
game.
what do you do when you get on the floor? I mean, look at Dunn last night. I thought he was one of the most valuable players for Henryville.
Nice 3-ball on the way from the right wing for Kenyon Shoals, the junior. He's got his first basket of the night. Brings it down to a 3-point deficit at 10-7. Parker catches in transition. Bang! Got another one to go from downtown. This one from the right wing.
Great answer.
13-7 advantage. Largest lead of the night now at 6 for West Washington.
Yeah, you gotta watch Sorrells. Like I said, he was 3 for 3 or 3 for 4 last time we played him.
Out top, Fisher's got it. Back to Sorrells now, left wing down in front of us at the end of the Senator coaching bench. As Gavin Smith, the 6'2 sophomore, will check in. Next dead ball opportunity. And we're now going to have a foul, as it was Tishner working in the paint. And Mars took the flop. And for Mars, he's going to pick up the personal, despite taking a hard little flop to the deck. Probably a little more acting than needed, but nonetheless, he's going to pick up his second personal as he gets into a little
That's
bit of
our
a
young
physical
lineup
matchup.
out there, Coach Jones.
That's 2 sophomore and 3 freshmen, but that's the future of this program at its finest. And it's going to be a quick 3 off the inbounds play for Sukup, who was way off the mark. Big air ball, and he'll hear it from some of our young people down on the baseline. Coming up on a half minute to play, first quarter. Gavin Smith in, takes a dribble drive, take off glass. It will not go. Jake there to fight for the rebound, but it comes off instead to Fisher. Racing into the front court, slow things up and let traffic clear. Cheryl gives it off now to Sorrells, gives it back to the freshman Cheryl. Now to Fisher, pull-up jumper in front of Holden, bangs it home. Pull-up jumper for Fisher is good, and that's his first field goal of the night. Make it now 13-9 with 10 seconds to play in the quarter. Parker controls, right side, takes a high screen, feeds it across. Holden pulls up, little one-hand floater from the high post left side, will not go. And Holden deflecting away a long heave from Sorrells as time expires in this one. But the Senators off to a good start. They own a 13-9 advantage after 1 quarter of play. You're listening to Senator Basketball tonight on the 1220 AM dial. Stick with us. We'll have second quarter action in a moment here on WSLM.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Back we come inside the friendly confines. Second quarter of action set to get underway. It will be Shoals basketball to start that second period of action. And for the Senators, they'll open up the quarter with the same group that they ended the first quarter with. The 3 freshmen out there, the big 3 in that freshman class. Strange, Bousman, and Green out there with the 2 sophomores. That is Gavin Smith and Harrison Sanford. A little 3-2 matchup zone here. compressed, not really a 1-2-2 because Harrison playing pretty much flat across the free throw line, extended with Parker and Holden out top. Sarles misses the three. Strong rebound on the far side by Holden. He'll clear it off to Green, and the two freshmen will bring it into the front court. Half minute nearly gone by here in this second quarter of action. Senators in the quarter on a 9-3 run. And nice feed underneath. They got Jake with another one of those flex cuts. He misses the layup, but Parker cleans it up and give Parker 8 already in this matchup. And the Senators extend the lead back to 6 at 15-9. Back to the other end, though. Big three for the big man. Lee Sherrill steps out, shows his range a little bit. Impressive looking jumper from him. 15-12. Minute gone by here in the second.
Yeah, he's got a nice little touch there.
Jake Strange with it on the wing, left side, gives it off to Holden. He'll dribble drive, go in, split two defenders with the thread of the needle. Kill it in one for the sophomore Gavin Smith. Nice feed, beautiful assist. Holden drops one in the piggy bank to Gavin Smith.
Holden does such a good job of controlling his body. I mean, I was for sure thinking he was driving into that lane to get a bucket. But man, he just stopped on a dime, saw Gavin. Nice play.
Gavin not only drops it in the piggy bank, squares that dime away, but he also finishes the old-fashioned three-point play with the free throw, so make it 18-12, and right back to a 6-point advantage we go.
That's a sad thing. Shoals has 2 3-pointers. We've answered both of them with 3 points of our own. So I mean, that's a big part of maintaining a lead.
Sukup and Sarles working it left side. They'll swing it around down the perimeter, and Sherrill will take another one, this time from the other side of the floor. The freshman big man says, anything you can do, I can do as well. He's got 6 in a row for the Jug Rocks, and it's back to a 3-point game at 18-15. Parker with it out front. Coach Smith still rolling with this young lineup. 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and it's Holden this time who catches off the mark. No good with the shot off that little banana cut. Flex style from the high elbow to the ball side block. And a nice feed. Beautiful look underneath. Sherrill fed Tishner. Tishner missed it. And Strange rips it out of the hands of Tishner as they fight for the rebound. And Bryson Abel is all over Steve Eichert wanting a call. Thought Jake was just good and physical there. Good hands to try to kind of make him readjust.
Right.
Nearly 2.5 gone by. Harrison catches high post, right back to Jake on the baseline in the corner right side. They're looking to isolate Gavin Smith. Spacing not very good, so they'll kick it back out to Holden. Holden will reset between the circles. Gives it off to Parker out top. And they're going to go to the up-out-back offense that they used for the last couple of years with the group that we had. It was so successful and won 2 sectional titles. Parker with a floater, it won't go. Gavin Smith to fight for the rebound, can't come out of there with it as Sarles beats him to it. He'll feed ahead to Fisher, back to Sarles, steps into a 3 straight away, off the rim, on the rim. We kind of started to roll in and out and come back down through the nylon. And Sarles with 2 triples, and we are tied for the 3rd time at 18 apiece. Prompts a timeout, a full one, called by Coach Smith. So he's guarded 1 of each. We'll step aside and take one as well. 5 minutes to go before the half. 18 all-year score. Jug Rocks and the Senators in a tied-up battle here on the Ron Smith court. Back with more second quarter action right after this.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MediView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
The timeout by Coach Sean Smith. 5 minutes even to play here before the intermission. Shoals able to tie it up again. It was off the rim, back on the rim, and falling back through. Second 3 of the night for Kenyon Sarles. Ties us up for the 3rd time at 18 apiece. 1 lead change thus far in those 3 ties, and underneath, Parker tries to feed on a dangerous pass to the baseline. to a cutting Harrison Sanford. That'll be turnover number 3 as Shoals was there to intercept, and Sarles will walk it across. Chance to give them the lead back. They led briefly at 2-0, and Sherrill will stop and pop again on the wing off the catch. And he now has 3 triples all in this quarter, and Shoals causes our second lead change of the night as they own the 21-18 advantage. Zink back into the ball game as he checked in for Gavin Smith off the timeout. Underneath, they go to Parker. If he can get anything, nice back cut from Holden, and then a beautiful feed to Jake Strange, who missed it, got it back, and then a foul from behind. And the Shoals coaches all over David Urey underneath. It is actually Gary Tyree with the call, and they are going to get Shoals for their their 4th personal of the half. This one's going to go on Tishner, his first. Great job of Jake to work the offensive glass, though, and go right back after he's missed. Something a lot of young guys, even post players, who's right there at the rim, something sometimes you forget about, and you underestimate a kid's value and ability to go get his own miss.
Yeah, sometimes it's especially young guys. He laid the first one up just expecting it to go in and start maybe turning a little bit, going down the other side to play defense, and he missed it. But, yeah, he stuck with it. But
Jake missed them both, though. Jake on the year had improved his free throw percentage. He was only in the mid to upper 30s earlier in the year. He got up to 51%. Missed both of them, though. Little individual set here for the Jug Rocks off a couple of screens, and nowhere to go with it. Fisher was bottled up by Parker, and it forces Bryson able to burn a timeout here with 3:50 to go. It's a 30-second timeout while we'll have an opportunity. Got choked the last time we had a 30-second timeout, so make the most of it this time around. We owe Becky a station break for station identification. You're listening to Senator Basketball on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
3:50 to go before the halftime break. 21-18 is your score. Shoals out in front off some hot shooting. It's been all triples, raining threes for the Jug Rocks in the second quarter. The freshman, Reese Sherrill, 6'4" big man, steps out. He's knocked down 3. And then guess who? Kenyon Sarles knocked down another one. So Sarles has a couple. Sherrill has 3. That accounts for all the outside shooting, at least for the Rocks, but they have the 21-18 advantage underneath. They go to Tishner. He's quickly doubled. Harrison doing a nice job. Holden offers some backside help, and now we'll have a foul on the floor. Harrison going to work at 6'2" against the 6'5" Clayton Tishner, and we are going to have a Senator foul. This will be Senator foul number 3, and it'll be the first of the night on Harrison. Actually, they're going to get Zink for that on the reach.
Yeah,
they're blowing my mind here with these numbers.
Abels
they put 3 up. Got one. Normally Zink 10. Again, some of them wearing different numbers tonight with these National Guard jerseys. And team foul number 4 now, as this time Abels picks one up. Caden Abels into the ball game, a 5'7" junior. And now we're going to have another quick foul, and this one will be on Harrison. As you can tell, he's starting to get a little frustrated working against Tishner. And Harrison picks up the team's 3rd consecutive personal on this end on this trip. Now 5-4 the foul count.
Last night we gave up a couple of easy buckets on inbounds plays.
Nice dribble drive take into the paint by Johnny Sukup. And it'll be another Senator foul. That's 4 consecutive fouls on this one trip. Something you don't see a lot of. But this one's going to be whistled against Holden. And that's his first of the night. Team foul number 6. And the next one will put the Rocks in the bonus the rest of the half with 3:21 to play. Johnny Sukup to the line, a 78% free throw shooter, knocks down the first. He's got 3 now on the evening.
Definitely, when we get back down to offense, which we haven't scored in a while, we need to make sure we run a nice little offensive set. Easy bucket would be nice.
Sukup with the second one, true to form. Again, almost an 80% free throw shooter on the year. Knocks them both down. Sukup will get a well-deserved round of applause. Standing ovation from the Shoals faithful that made the long trip over this evening. And into the ball game is Dason Wright, who got the start tonight for Coach Bryce and Abel. It's a 23-18 lead, largest of the night for the Rocks. Coming upon 3 minutes to play before the half.
Yeah, it's been a disastrous
nice
quarter,
feed in the paint.
14-5.
Abel with the kick. Abel's ready with the kick out to Zink, who airballs the three and back to the other end. Cheryl will give it up to Tishner, and nothing that Harrison can do but wall up to avoid the foul. And Tishner has his first of the night off the bench, his first basket. Makes it now 25-18.
16-5 this quarter.
Senators struggling offensively. They've had some looks, just couldn't get them to go down. Parker for three, couldn't get that one to go. He'd already hit a couple tonight. A big strong rebound for Wright back into the ball game for the Rocks. Fisher will bring it into the front court. Senators operating in a 7-point hole here at 25-18, under 2.5 to play in the half. Sarles, three, that one off the mark. No one home but Zink on the backside to pull it down for the Senators. Zink, Abels, Green, and Balisman, a four-guard set out there with Harrison Sanford in the front court. Nick on the bench with those two personals. Jake Strange getting a breather as well. He's played quite a few minutes here in the first half.
Coach Smith said he wants nothing but a wide open look.
Shoals.
If I remember right, I think we went into half down 5, maybe in the first time.
23-18,
I think it was down 5, so
hey, you're gonna make me
some
look.
familiar territory.
Check that, 22-17. I was close. 22-17 at the half.
That's still pretty
good. Then we
good
come out and
recall.
we exploded for 21.
Yeah, I thought we had
a
a big third quarter. But you wouldn't expect them, they hit 4 out of their last 6 3-pointers, but you can't bank on them starting to miss, so we got to do a little bit better job of closing out on those shooters.
Caden with it, gets into the high post, nearly lost the handle, give it up to Holden, now to Parker. He'll dribble drive, give it off to Abels. Caden three, couldn't get it to go off the mark. And Harrison steals it away from Fisher. Turnover number 5 on the Rocks. And it'll be a foul as Harrison couldn't get the shot to go, but the foul will go on Fisher. For the Rocks, that'll be team foul number 5. And that is his first of the night. Claude got confused. I think I heard him say fouls on Jake Strange. Had the wrong 32, Coach.
Boy, free throws have been a struggle for us this year. Getting to the line, and then when we get there, hitting them, we are struggling.
Hashtag,
2 for 6.
Yeah, not good at all. 78 seconds to play in this first half. Second one is up and good for Harrison. So Senators now just 2 of 5 in this quarter alone. Breaks a little drought, though, for the Senators scoring-wise, 25-19.
Oh!
All right, Coach? That one hurt you to watch.
Did you see that?
That one hurt you to watch a
that
little
did.
bit?
That one, I think that was just a inadvertent. I don't even know if he touched him.
Team foul number 7. And this one will go as number 2 on Caden Abels.
I strongly disagree with that call.
Protest. Formal protest. Sound like Sheldon Cooper. Dason Wright to the free throw line. Knocked down his first. He's now got 3 on the night. Second one on the way, and that one rims in and out. Tishner goes right over the back of Harrison Sanford. No whistle.
That was big.
And Tishner with the putback, so a huge swing there. 28-19. Largest advantage of the half for the Rocks. Senators need something big here to end the half as Abels gets into the paint, misses the runner way off the mark. And then Harrison there to poke it away from Sukup for just a minute, but it will stay with the Rocks. 44.1. Jake Strange is going to check in. Abel's going to come out. I'm not sure Coach Smith too happy with his junior with that take. Even though it was an open look, it wasn't a contested runner. Probably not what you wanted with that much time left.
40 seconds. Got to dig down here. Down 9. You don't want to go in the half double digits. This one kind of got away from us in the second quarter here.
Senators just 2 field goals in the period. Meanwhile, Shoals put up 4 triples thus
Say,
far and a couple of
sometimes,
2-point
we've
field
talked
goals.
about it before, sometimes it's just that simple. They're hitting their shots and we're not. I mean, from the floor or free throw line.
Parker doing his best spy versus spy as he was checking out the instructions from Bryson Abel. 5 seconds to go. Searles going to give it to Sukup. They'll feed down low. Sherrill able to gather it and goes off glass for 2 more. As Reese Sherrill finishes the first half with 11 points, all in this period of play, and it is a 30-19 advantage.
21-6.
Got worked in that second quarter of play as the Senators were on the struggle bus for quite a ride in that second period. Again, putting up just 6 points to the 21 for Shoals. That leads us to our 30-19 score here at the half. We'll step aside, take a break, hear from a few sponsors, and we'll come back with our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Senator halftime report right after this.
And all you duck chuckers, get ready. Ready? Got the ducks. Whoa, man, somebody's got a duck. Oh, yeah. Mike Morgan, you'll be shooting the half-court shot. Mike Morgan. Look at them ducks. It's raining ducks. Woo. Okay, need more ducks. There comes one. All right. We got a winner there. We got a duck winner. Jeannie Combs, you win the duck chucking. I never seen you move. No, give it to her. I don't want her money. They tried to give me the money, sis. Okay, Mike Morgan, we need you down here for your half-court shot. Yeah, a lot of pressure here, Mike. This one's worth about $400. Oh, Mike puts her up. You're getting closer, Mike. Get you some Wheaties and come back on Tuesday. Eat them Wheaties, come out here Tuesday night. All right. Okay. This time we're going to recognize our basketball players, boys basketball, 5th through 8th grade. Starting with our 5th graders, Eli Haley, Creed Snake, Hudson Crest, Ethan Sorrows, Jake Griffiths, Carson Mullen, Jackson Wiseman, Ryan Shipman, Tyler Miller, Landon Holloway, and Silas Back. That's our 5th graders. Now our 6th graders are Connor Gates, Jackson Cameron, Evan Wills, Clark Nance, Grayson McCoy, Kenton Chase, Diane Williams, Dylan Keller, Marshall Cook, Ian Rosenbaum, and Cash Long. The coaches of the 5th and 6th grade was Chris Long and Tom Rosenbaum. Braxton Sprouse, Nate Tedder, Mason Cox, Mason Jones, Brendan Emery, Lee McFeeters, Kyle Struthers, Desmond Lewis. They were coached by Aaron Key. The 8th grader, Joe Lammers, Caden Zink, Hunter Thompson, Braden Gates, Noah Mars, Cannon Root, Jacob Boyer, and Mason Guthrie. And they were coached by Kyle Stewart. The cheerleaders for the junior high was Lizzie Chastain, Kaylee Fouch, Kelsey Bader, Haley Reed, Emma Hadley, and Anna Arney. Let's give the boys a big hand. Good job, boys.
Light the fire again offensively, because again they get worked 21-6 in that second quarter, and that leads us to the 30-19 deficit here at the half. We'll step aside, take a break, hear a word from another sponsor, and we'll come back. Coach Gibson will give you the team statistical rundown here from the first 16 minutes of action. You're listening to the Senators tonight on Salem's 1220.
Into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back courtside, the Ron Smith court here. There was West Washington Senators trailing the Shoals Jug Rocks 30-19. A couple of shooting stats, Senators, and we just talked about it before we went to half. Sometimes it's just as simple as who makes shots, who doesn't make shots. Senators, 5 of 14 inside the arc for 36%, 2 of 5 beyond the arc for 40, but 7 of 19 total for 37%. Couple that with 43% free throw shooting, and you're looking at a tough first half. Shoals, on the other hand, 6 of 8 inside the arc, mostly due to the big guys down low. Fisher, Sherrill, Tinchner, you know, they go 6 of 8 for 75%. Behind the arc, they're just as, it's like molten lava. They are boiling hot. 56% from behind the arc, 5 of 9. That second quarter, they just absolutely were bombs away and just did whatever they wanted, basically, against the Senators in that second quarter. So they shot 11 of 17 total, 65% from the floor. That is unreal. And they were on fire. You know, there's a couple times Coach Smith wasn't real happy with his defense, and I think he may have to redo the locker room walls up there, because he may have laced the paint off of that locker room, because they're just now coming to the floor. So, you know, Shoals also shoots 75%, 3 of 4 from the line. Again, we were 3 of 7 for 43%. That's basically, you know, you can see 30-19. Shoals owns the rebounding edge as well, 12-8. So basically everything going Shoals Jug Rock's way. So we got a minute 23 before third quarter here, so it's just, you know, you got to fight back. It's only an 11-point lead. That's as well as they have shot and kind of worked us in the second quarter. It's only an 11-point lead, so you just have to slowly work your way back.
Seems like a broken record. It's almost the same conversation we had as the Senators come out of the half. We wondered if Coach Smith was going to force Springs Valley into a new paint job in one of their locker rooms at the holiday tourney, and tonight Senators again trying to find some answers here at the half as they trail at 30-19. Just a little update on some girls basketball action today. Semi-states played around the state. And just a couple of interest, of course, Bedford North Lawrence playing at Jasper, a 6 o'clock tip. Don't have a final score in yet from the Lady Stars. But down at Jeffersonville in 3A action, Greensburg, who came out of that Charlestown sectional, won 61-52 today over Danville. And in Class 1A, the Lady Patriots, Vincennes Reveille, Coach Rick Marshall's group here last weekend, very, very impressive. Still a fairly young team. They knock off Indianapolis Tinley, which was a high-scoring team, Coach. They had a couple of girls around 20 points per game. Very talented group. They knock off Tinley at Jasper 77-68, and the number one team in Class 1A, Marquette Catholic, taking care of business. How about this? 58-18 in semi-state play. So it'll be 1 versus 2 in Bankers Life
nice
for the 1A title next Saturday.
That's a nice matchup. I was super impressed with Reveille. They were just a really nice ball club. Aaron Dennis, clock keeper tonight, turned and said a while ago that Bedford was down 10 at one point. So.
Okay, and again, Bedford playing at Jasper, playing Warren Central. Warren Central came in a 1-point favorite according to the John Harrell website. As the Senators dry on their first possession, Coach.
That's not a good start. I mean, we got a good shot. Holden had a nice little floater on the right side there and just rimmed out.
So Shoals, their first possession of the half, again operating with a 30-19 lead. Again, thanks to Eddie Gilstrap Motors for bringing you our Senator halftime report here this evening. Busy halftime, a lot of players recognized, the boys elementary and junior high teams recognized here at the half, as well as our Saturday morning little dribblers that were in attendance tonight. As Shoals also misses and cannot connect on their first attempt of the half. Mars, Zink in there with Sanford, Green, and Bousman, the original 5 that we had been going with for quite some time here since the first of the year. Green trying to get into the paint against Fisher, has to kick out right wing to Sanford. Senators continue that pass and shuffle, cut down the lane, and they can't get any cutters. And now Harrison will stop at the high post, shuffle his feet, and that'll be the first turnover of the half for West Washington, just their 4th of the night.
I was going to say we did a nice job in the first half, but we just couldn't get anything to fall. I mean, it's just, 3 turnovers. You'll take that as a coach every time. And you just couldn't get anything to fall, and then they couldn't stop them either.
Jason Wright directs traffic now on the wing left side, and a nice up and under move for the freshman Reese Sherrill, and he gets on the board, gets his own miss, and Nick finally pulls it down off the defensive glass. As Parker and Holden now will bring it back into the front court.
Gotta get something to fall.
Senators trailing at 30-19. They tried to feed down low to Mars, so back-to-back turnovers for the Senators after an early miss to start the period from Holden. So 3 dry possessions and an air ball at the other end for Sukup off the runner. Holden spins out of the double team. He'll accelerate, give it off to Green. He'll drive, be bumped on the floor, and this will be our first foul of the second half. Whistled against either team. This one against Shoals, and this one will go against Max Fisher, his second. Again, JV team tonight gets the job done early on. Clayton Sullivan's group wins the opener here tonight, 47-19 as they romp over the young Jug Rocks, moving them to 13-8 on the year. Nice win for the JV. Senators trying their best to follow suit. They will have a foul.
I thought they played really well. I don't know how much of it you saw, but everybody contributed in that JV route before this varsity contest. They played really well.
Kenyon Sarles picks up the personal for the Rocks. Senators reset it. Mars has it out top as he starts to work the dribble against Dason Wright. Misses a wild runner. Ill-advised shot. Holden comes up with the offensive rebound. He's bottled up in the high post. Had it poked away. Zink there to save it. Running layup will go off the baseline. And Cam Zink's got his first 2 of the night. Make it now 30-21. Little 3-quarter court token pressure. Parker with the steal on the poke away. Holden able to come out of there with it. Nice steal, good hands, and on the trip to the other end.
Oh, I don't know.
Eichert's going to whistle Holden for the travel. He had a little crossover and a little
If that was a
step.
travel, then Sherrill's down here was definitely a travel.
And there's no, if you're a true follower of the game for Senator Nation, and you're familiar with Coach Smith's relationship with some of these officials, him and Steve Eichert haven't necessarily exchanged Valentines the last couple of years, and I'm sure they didn't this year. He's not too happy with Eichert on that call. That's turnover number 3 already in the half, and they had 3 in the first 16 minutes combined. 5:02 to go, third quarter, and it'll be a reset for the Rocks. Had it poked away. They'll try to get it to Sherrill. They do. Mars didn't even see him coming. Nice step through and a little fadeaway jumper will rattle in off the back iron. As Reese Sherrill has 13 now on the night. Came into the game averaging just 5.6 points per ball game. And he has been the man here tonight for the Rocks. And a nice take left side as Parker Green answers right back, and Parker gets into double figures with 10. Parker not having to spend quite so much energy on defense tonight. Not that he's being lazy defensively, but you don't have a guy like Nick Walker out there to chase in a box of one.
And you can tell he's more aggressive tonight, too.
Nice steal. They tried to lob it in down low to Sherrill. Searles throws it away into the hands of Harrison Sanford. Turnover number 6 for the Rocks. And Parker will race it up the left side. Stops, gives it off in the corner to Mars. He'll look to dribble back out, gives it up to Parker. Coming up on the halfway point of this third quarter, 32-23. Holden controls, turns the corner, feeds underneath. Nice thread of the needle and a charge. David Geary with the call. I did not think that Shoals was squared up to take that. And they're going to get Mars with the third personal player control. That's also a turnover. Already 4 now in this quarter, and again, Senators only had 3 in all in that first half. Coach Bausman and the rest of Senator Nation does not agree with 4:02 to play. Coach Smith still giving it to Geary as he went all the way to the other baseline. He did not want to have his whole earlobe taken off by Coach Smith. And Shoals right back at it offensively to Tishner, who's back in, and he gets an easy little baby hook to go in the paint uncontested. He's got 6 off the bench tonight, and it's 34-23, back to the 11-point advantage for the Rocks. 3.5 to go in the third. Parker, he'll go into the paint amongst the trees, has it poked away. Turnover number 5 already of the quarter, now 8 in the ball game. Searles to the other end, thought about the stop and pop, gives it off underneath to Hawkins back in, and he scores nearly uncontested underneath. His first 2 of the night off the bench, and Shoals taking the Senators to the woodshed here in the third, much like they did in the second quarter, as Coach Smith still chatting it up with Steve Eichert. And it's a full timeout for Coach. That'll leave him with a full and 30 with 3:16 to go here in the third. We'll step aside, get another word in from another sponsor. I'll come back with more third quarter action right after this.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks. We just bought a fixer-upper, and I don't know where to begin. So I went to see Paul at our neighborhood Ace.
I told Nate we have everything he needs to help him repair their home, from a wide selection of paint colors, craftsman tools, and the best lawn and garden brands.
Ace is a place with exactly what you need, starting with help.
Save big all month long on Red Hot buys at Ace Hardware of Salem. Find current savings at facebook.com/Ace Hardware of Salem.
Coach Smith. Coach Myers up off the bench to try to talk Sean off the ledge, as Sean goes right back to the work on the earlobe of David Geary, trying to get an explanation from that last player control on Nick on the baseline. Parker with it now, left wing. Brings it back out top to Zink, out there with Bausman, Green, Sanford, and Mars. Holden controls it now, right side, out top. Now under 3 minutes to go in the third. Spin move in the paint. Jumper for Holden won't go off the back iron. Another good look, though. Just could not get one to fall.
Struggling.
Our shooting percentage again in the first half.
Offensively, 37%.
Come into the game shooting 46% from two-point range and 41% overall. Feels like a lot worse than 36 or 37%.
Well, first quarter we shot fairly well.
And Searles knocks down a big 3 from the wing. He's got all of his points from downtown. Largest lead of the night at 39-23. This is the Shoals team that probably showed up against Michael Leitzman's ball club, as Zink's able to get a basket, his second one of the night. Again, this Shoals team been up and down, and they got beat at the Doghouse last night against Orleans. But they've also knocked off Michael Leitzman's Springs Valley team here recently, and Tishner underneath misses, gets his own rebound, block shot from behind by Harrison. He thought it was clean, and he blocked it off the backboard. And David Urey with the call, and for Harrison, this will be his third personal, team foul number 2. So 2 personals apiece. Minute 49 to go. Tishner to the free throw line after doing some good work on the offensive boards. And he soaks the first free throw, so he's now got 7 off the bench. Normally a starter, one of the leading scorers on this team for Coach Bryson Abel, as Harrison will check out to have a seat and Jake Strange will come in.
Yeah, when things are, when it rains, it pours. I mean, we just can't shoot well. We're giving up a couple offensive boards. And when that happens, it seems like the officials are against you as well. Everybody thought that was a clean block except for Shoals fans, obviously. But you have to dig down, grit, find some grit, and battle back here. 16-point lead, 1:47 to go.
Senators go back to work on the offensive end. Second time they trailed by as many as 16 here tonight. Zink tries to get too cute with the basketball, nearly lost the handle going behind the back. He'll kick out now to Parker. Now on the far side on the wing to Jake. He'll throw a rocket pass into Holden, and on the kick out, Zink will gather, dribble out of trouble, goes behind the back, shoots nearly an air ball from 3, and then we'll have a reach-in foul off the rebound. Probably not the shot we wanted on that possession. And this will be a foul on Parker Green. That is his first of the night. Team foul number 3. Caden Abels will check in. He'll be told to check in with a tucked-in jersey. And Parker will get a well-deserved breather here. Minute 23 to play in the third, 41-25. Senators will pick up full court pressure here, and then once they get it in, Shoals able to get it in safely, and then they'll back off the Dogs. Shoals content to work some clock now and try to get a good one with just over a minute to play in the third. Again, operating with a 16-point cushion. One thing I could say about this group, Coach, is that every time they've been challenged like this as a young team and they've dug themselves a hole against an older, more experienced, more physical lineup, they found a way to at least make things interesting and battle back in the late stages of a ball game. Not sure on the back end of a double dip how much juice and how much gas is left in the tank, but we'll see.
Great point, because that's what I was going to say too. A little bit easier, a little bit more energy on Friday night to battle back. They're probably third game in a week. A little bit tired. That was a moving screen.
Out front, Holden trying to give chase to Hawkins. They leave it off underneath, and wide open. Tishner gets 2 more. 4 in the first half, 6 alone in this quarter, make it 43-25. Now the largest lead of the game for the Jug Rocks at 18. Zink crosses over, gets in the paint. He'll be bumped and fouled. And they're going to say it's a 2-shot foul. I thought it was on the floor. And the foul will go against Hawkins, and if so, that'll be his third, team foul number 3 of the half. And Zink to the free throw line on the year, 16 of 29 for 55%. First one is on the way and good. Zink's got 5 all in this quarter. 43-26, 11.1. Coach Abel wants them to recognize the situation as Zink cashes in both of them, giving him 6 now. 43-27 to the other end. A wide open 3 for Sukup as he knocks it down. Nobody home. They fall asleep in transition, and Holden with the half-court heave that goes just off the rim. And confusion on the part of the Senators as Abels had some miscommunication, and he's not very happy. Untucks the jersey, and he'll stand outside of the huddle. And Coach Smith lighting into his guys again, including Abels, who will come out and not play at the beginning here of the fourth. It'll be Gavin Smith. as well as it looks like probably Mikey Nichols. He's also perhaps checked into the ball game as well. But we'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back with fourth quarter action right after this word from one of our sponsors.
Channel seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Senators will open up the fourth quarter on defense as Shoals gets it into the backcourt. Sarles will bring it across. 46-27. Senators in a world of hurt here to start the quarter. And a three up from the corner, dead man's corner, buried deep on that left side. It is Sukup who ended the quarter with the three, starts the fourth with the three, and it's now a 49-27 ball game. And the Senators try to answer back. Zink knocks down the triple. He's now got 9 on the night, all in this second half of play. 49-30. And Holden with a deflection. He thought he deflected it back off the forehead of Sukup. And now it'll be Gary Tyree to come over, and they're going to change the call. And Tyree with a good call. He did smack it back into the face of Sukup. So it'll be a turnover, just their second of the half, Coach, and second of the half, 7th overall.
Yeah, they not only are they just lighting it up, they're taking care of the ball. And like I said, it's a fairly young team, but it's a lot of juniors out there. So, you know, it's a lot of experienced youth. You'd expect
experienced youth, and dare I say, pretty physical. This is a very just physical team. All their guys very cut, defined. Looks like they've been in the weight room. Just a lot of big bodies out there for Shoals. And that's Fisher away perhaps with the travel right in front of Coach Bryson Abel, and a nice runner by Dason Wright. He's now got 5, and it is 51-30.
Sometimes it kind of piles on too. I'm not real sure. There's been some possessions where we haven't played real well defensively tonight.
And that may be putting it mildly. Counting in one for the senior, Cam Zink, as his hot second half continues. He's now got 11 all in the half, looking for number 12 if he can finish the old-fashioned three-point play. That'll be team foul number 4 against the Rocks. And for Shoals, that'll be the second whistled against Kenyon Sarles. Again, Zink back to the line, a 55% shooter, hit his first 2, knocked that one down as well. Cam trying to come alive a little bit, but maybe a little too late here tonight. 51-33 the score, a minute and a half gone by in the fourth.
Scratch back into it. It's going to be down at this end. We got to get some deflections, poke away, steals.
Right with it, gives it up out top. Sukup with it. He's got the hot hand as of late. He'll thought about another 3 at least. But he was going to pull the trigger on it. Instead kicks it out to right. And now they'll look to try to double. They give it off on the baseline. Fisher right into Tishner, who works against Mikey Nichols at 5'10", in for his first minutes of the night. Mikey just no chance against the 6'5" Tishner. 53-33, and Zink again. 15 now all in this half. And Senators forcing the issue in the backcourt. It's a 30-second timeout. That'll leave Bryson Abel with 3 full timeouts. 5:37 to play here in the fourth. We'll step aside again. Take a 10-second break for station identification. You're listening to the Senators on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Senators Still in the huddle on the timeout from Bryson Abel. 53-36, 17-point advantage for the Rocks. 2.5 gone by nearly here in the fourth. Both of these teams come in again with just 8 wins on the year. Shoals 8-12. Meanwhile, West Washington 8-13. Jag Rocks out of the Blue Chip Conference, standing at 3-4 on the year. But again, this is a series that the Senators have dominated. Shoals trying to snap a 12-game losing streak to West Washington in this series. The series, again, they've dominated 20 games to 5 over the last 30 years. Senators force a turnover. Holden with the steal to the other end, gives it up to Abels. Pump fake, finishes off the glass, and Caden's got his first 2 of the night. Make it 38-53, 15-point game, and then Abels with a near poke away. Be a whistle and a foul, and for Abels that'll be his third, I believe, team foul number 4. 5:15 to go, and again the real question: how much juice is left in the tank?
Yeah, with 5:15 down 15. I mean, that's definitely doable, but it's got to start right now.
Miscommunication on the substitution here on the bench as Zink came to the scorer's bench and then got pulled back. Sarles on the pump fake, got Nick to jump and bite on it. And on a putback attempt, Jason Wright couldn't get it. Tishner couldn't get it. And how about that? Holden Bousman at 6 foot, skying up over Tishner at 6'5" to pull down the rebound. Gives it off to Parker. Now to Nichols in the corner. Abels, 3, couldn't get it to go. And the rebound will ricochet into the corner. And they're going to say last touched by the Rocks, and it will stay with the Senators. Last touch by Sarles. Zink will check in, and it will be Abels to check out. So Bousman, Green, Nichols, and Zink out there with Mars, a 4-guard set. And it's going to be Reese Sherrill to check in for Tishner. Sherrill's been quiet in the second half, just 2 of his 13 in this half. They get it into Mars. He's left alone. He'll stop, pop, 15-foot jumper, an air ball way off the mark. Just did not look good. And the Senators trying to give chase as they're slinging it into the front court. And Shoals with a turnover as Parker's able to come up with the steal and save. And then they're going to call him for being out. And Coach Smith and Coach Bousman both may blow a gasket here. Parker saved it in. If they don't, I'll let Coach Bousman explain it. Coach Smith still mad. He says, you just blew a fast break for us, and now he's going to chew on Yuri. Ooh. And now Yuri is going to get an unsportsmanlike warning from David Yuri. And he's Yuri tells Sean, you've had your warning, coach. And Sean says, yes, sir. And goes and turns around. Oh, mercy sakes. Zink, step back 3. That one off the mark. And now they're going to get Mars for an over the back, and he low of verticality. It looked like he had the position, but they're going to get Mars for his 4th, team foul number 5, and we have lost all control in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, this is helter-skelter, a lot of one-on-one moves, not a lot of offense being run. It's just kind of street ball right now.
I don't know if 6th grade basketball gets this ref or not. At recess, coming up on the halfway point of the fourth, 53-38. Zink able to poke it away. Turnover number 5 of the half, 10th of the game. And we'll have a foul on the floor. Sukup with the foul on Zink after the poke away. So give credit to Zink for the steal. And that'll be a foul on Johnny Sukup, and that'll be team foul number 5 for his first of the night. And the Senators to inbound in a 1-4 high set. Harrison Parker on the inside. They'll set a double screen for Zink coming in. He pump fakes, nearly lost the handle. He's got a wide open Parker Green on the wing. He tries to dribble through it, double team. And the Senators turn it over. Oh, coach, what are we doing? Shooters on the wings. cannot dribble through 3 people. And then the Senators give up a silly nickel dimer out front. No need for it. This may be the most frustrated I've been in a while, and that hasn't been too long ago that I was very frustrated.
That is true. That's saying a lot.
The foul is going to go out front. I think they're going to get Holden for this one. That'll be his second, team foul number 6. 3:45 and counting. And then a near steal at midcourt. And it'll be Harrison whistled for the personal. This will be team foul number 7.
Out on 24, Harrison Sanford is third, team 7.
Harrison picks up his 4th, so he's got 4. Mars has 4. Abels with 3. The only guys in real foul trouble for West Washington with 3:43 to play. With a 1 and bonus, it'll be Johnny Sukup, a 78% shooter on the year. First one is up and no good. And we're going to have a foul in the backcourt. This one's going to be on Sukup after the miss. That'll be the 6th on the Rocks.
I'm not too sure he scored in the first time we played. If he did, he only had 1 or 2.
If I'm thinking that's right. Again,
so he's been a big part of the way this has turned around from the first meeting.
He had 2 in the first game. Counted and 1 at the other end. As Harrison Sanford gets the turnaround jumper to go, give him 6 now on the night. It is 53 to 40. Don't fall asleep on the Senators just yet with 3.5 to go.
On the line, watch out, 24, Harrison Sanford.
And Harrison Sanford to the line, a 54% free throw shooter. He's 2 for 4 thus far on the night. That one up and good. 53-41, 3.5 to play.
Oh, nobody getting back.
And Tishner with another wide open layup. 55-41. The plot continues to thicken here. Holden gets the little teardrop floater to go. The runner for Holden, his first 2 of the night, and it's 55-43. Sarles now, he'll try to feed to Tishner. They'll kick out to Dason Wright. Just over 3 minutes to go. Wright tries to split a double, and Holden steps on the sideline, nearly had a steal. Quick hands for Holden, quick as a hiccup.
He actually had it, but then he dribbled it out of bounds.
Didn't really have full possession of it, though. Great effort. 2:59 to play.
I don't know what they're yelling at.
Yeah, the Shoals fans getting restless with Harrison, who's trying to front Tishner.
Basically, you can't touch their bigs or they go crazy.
That's pretty much the way it's been tonight. As Holden comes up with an interception, turnover number 6 of the half. Underneath, nice feed, freshman to freshman, and Green finishes. He's got 12. It's 55-45, the closest West Washington has been in a long time. And Senator Nation comes to their feet with 2:41 to go. Senators spending a lot of energy. Let's see if they can keep from hitting the E on the gauge. 2:41 to go, full timeout for Bryson Abel. And the Jug Rocks will come back with more right after this.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup. And the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sidelines, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Out of the timeout from Bryson Abel and the Jug Rocks. They get it in against full court pressure, and Zink gives up the quick foul on the inbounds pass, and that'll be his second personal, I believe, of the night. Team foul number 8. It is, in fact, his second. Dason Wright to the free throw line for the one and bonus, and somehow gets that one to rattle home. He's now 2 of 3 on the evening. Make it now a 56-45 ball game.
Yeah, I really thought he left that one a little short. It was a nice little backspin on it, and he got the roll.
Second one on the way. Got that left foot way back off the line in his stance. He gets them both. Give him 7 on the night. Back to a 12-point game at 57-45. Holden gives it off to Zink. NBA 3 from Ron on court, and he knocks it down. Zink, a monster second half for the senior, makes it single digits. Holden comes up with the steal underneath. Nice feed to Parker Green. He's now got 14 on the night. The Senators make it a 57-50 ball game. Full court pressure, trap in the backcourt. Steal by Green, off to Nichols. Counted and one for the West Washington Senators as Nichols gets the beautiful feed off a turnover number 8 in the half for the Rocks, 13th of the ball game. And it is Mikey Nichols with his first 2 of the night. 2:10 to go nearing that 2-minute warning. It's a 5-point game, folks. They trailed this thing by 21 points earlier on at 51-30, and Nichols cashes in. 57-53, and now the wheels sputtering a bit as Shoals can't get any traction, and the Senators have turned up the defensive juice as they start to ratchet things up. 4-point ball game, 2:10 to go. Anybody's game now as they get it into Dason Wright. He'll be double teamed in the backcourt. Bobbled away, and Holden couldn't believe it. He looks at Eichert, gives him a little hand clap like, I can't believe you just called that. Instead, they're going to get Zink for the personal, his third, team foul number 9. So to the other end will be Dason Wright, where he's 3 of 4 on the night. Wright, a 61% shooter on the year, 2:06 to go. Still 1 and the bonus, so we got to make sure we don't let him get his own board. And that one runs in and out, no good.
Parker
Senators,
with the rebound.
Senators in business, 57-53. Zink starting to fill it. Pull-up jumper, got fouled. No call. Ball on the floor. And it was Sanford trying to save it to Green. Tishner in the backcourt, double team. And now Hawkins tied up. Senator fans, they're going to call a tie-up. I thought they were going to call a reach-in on West Washington. It's going to be Senator basketball, though, with 1:48 to go, and Coach Smith.
Possession. Somebody knocks down a shot here.
He thought that Zink got partially fouled. Nichols has it. He'll pull up. Deep 3 off the mark, no good. Big rebound underneath for Harrison Sanford as he goes to work on the offensive glass. And that's going to be team foul number 8. Whistled against the Shoals in the half. And for the Senators, this will be a foul on Dason Wright, his second of the night. Again, team foul number 9. Both teams with 9 personals.
Got to hit this first one.
Sanford needs this one badly. See what he's got left in the legs. Got to bend to the knees and get up on those toes. And that one long off the mark, and Tishner there with the long wingspan to pull it down. Sorrells will work against Zink in the backcourt. Little poke away almost from behind. Holden with the near steal. 57-53, 90 seconds to play. Underneath, Tishner gets it. He'll kick it out. The Senators will give chase again. And Nichols will give up the foul on Sorrells. Sorrells, coach, get this, 3 of 12, at least through the first 18 games of the year, for just 25%. So definitely knowing the scouting report, a good foul here. It'll be double bonus, team foul number 10, first of the night on Mikey Nichols. And Sorrells to the stripe, and that one no good. Great foul. Let's see how long Coach Abels will leave him into the ball game. Just 25% from the line. Second one on the way, and it is good. Good time to finally knock one down for Sorrells. Make it a 58-53. They just put it up, and Sanford on the poke away. It's going to stay with the Senators. It was Nichols and Sanford over there on the far side of the floor. They was in a bit of trouble with Green. Senators, though, get it right into Harrison. Couldn't get the finish. Almost an and one opportunity, but it'll be Harrison who goes back to the free throw line. Team foul number 10. Whistle against the Jug Rocks, and this will go against Tishner, who picks up his third personal of the night. We need these big time from Harrison. 54% on the year. First one is up, and it is good. Harrison will get one more, make it 58-54. Chance to make it a one-possession ball game with 73 seconds to play. Second free throw after a couple of dribbles on the way, and it rattles home for the sophomore. So give Harrison now 5 in the quarter, 9 in the ball game, make it 58-55. Sarles, dangerous pass, cross court, and Zeke will give up the foul. Not sure Dason Wright's necessarily the guy you wanted to foul. He's 3 of 5 on the night for 60% in the ball game. Zeke gives up his fourth foul, team foul number 11. So double bonus for Dason Wright. 68 seconds to play. First free throw on the way, and it is good for Wright. Probably wanted to try to catch Sarles if
yeah,
all
I was going to say,
possible.
I mean, he had the ball here. We just couldn't get to him quick enough, I don't think. But, yeah, I don't know if we want to put him back on the line the rest of minute 8.
Second one is up, and it rattles home too. So mark him off the list of guys to foul. Makes it now 60-55. Bousman to Nichols. Loses the handle, gets bumped. And it'll be a foul on Hawkins. Shoals fans wanted to travel on Mikey Nichols. Team foul number 11. And again for Hawkins, his fourth. So Mikey Nichols now to the free throw line. A rare appearance for him on the year, just 13 of 21 for 62%. He shot one here tonight. That was earlier in the period. Double bonus. He knocks the first one down. Makes it now 60-56 with a minute 1 left on the clock. Kid Senators trying to get the sweep here tonight. Clayton Sullivan's group wins at 47-19 in the JV contest, moving them to 13-8 on the year as Nichols knocks them both down. The junior with some big free throws.
Oh, foul him.
60-57. They'll get it to Dason Wright.
Clock.
And we'll have a foul as they didn't get the clock started. The assistant coach in the middle of the bench got up. He needs to have a seat and chill. That's not his place to take care of that. The officials conferring, they're taking care of it. Clock didn't get started quick enough.
Here's 101. You know, we had Sorrells, the guy we wanted, with the ball. You've got to foul.
And they're going to reset it to 58 seconds. And the foul going to be whistled.
We had Sorrells, and now we're putting Wright back on the, he's 5 of 7.
That foul was on Parker Green, his second, team foul number 12 of the half. And again, we fouled Dason Wright. 57-60, and Dason Wright misses one here. So the barn door is still left open here, slightly for West Washington with 58 seconds to go. He misses this one. It's still a one-possession ball game. Second one is up and good. Make it 61-57. 55 seconds to play. Green to Nichols. Back out to Bousman. 3, top of the key. Couldn't get it to go. And it's going to be a travel. And it was Dason Wright that fell to the floor, fell to his knee, and stumbled. Turnover number 9 of the half, now 14 in the game, and Shoals fans irate again. Double stack, one on the block, one on the elbow. We see this a lot out of West Washington. And they get it to Nichols, had a wide open 3 to Holden, back to Nichols, 3, that one an air ball, way off the mark, and the Senators will have to give up a foul. With 39.2, Nichols was wide open. Just could not draw contact with the rim. And the foul is going to be whistled against Holden. That'll be his third, team foul number 13. 39.2. To the other end, Hawkins, his first attempt of the night is good. Get him 3 points off the bench.
We scored 30 points this quarter. I think it was, we had 27 going into it. It is weird. I mean, that's.
He missed the second one. Still an opportunity.
27 through 3 quarters and then scored 30 in the fourth.
Like last night, 15 through 3 and ended up with 15 in the fourth. Holden, that went off the mark. No good, and a rebounding foul. And if this is on Harrison going over the back, that'll be his fifth, and he'll check out for the night. It will be his fifth. They're going to say it's his fourth. I had him marked already for his fourth. So he'll stay in. I had a different number on the board earlier. Tishner to the free throw line. 62-57, 5-point lead for the Rocks. They're trying to get out of here. Couldn't get on the bus quick enough as Tishner missed the first. His first miss of the night. Now 2 of 3. He's a 68% free throw shooter. Second one on the way, and that one's good.
Somebody's going to have to knock down a triple, I think.
And it's going to have to be a quick one. 2-possession ball game, 63-57. Timeout for Coach Smith with 25.1 to go. And it'll be a full timeout for Coach Smith. 25.1 on the clock. Can the Senators get a couple of quick Reggie Miller-style threes? We'll see. After we come back from this break, you're listening to Senator Basketball tonight on Salem's 1220.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Out of the timeout by Coach Smith. 25.1 on the clock, 63-57. Going to have to get something quick here against the Rocks. Holden will kick it over to Nichols. Nichols holds, goes back in the corner. Now to Holden, pump fake to Nichols. Thought about three. Throws it back to Parker. Somebody's got to shoot it. Parker does. Couldn't get the three to go. Rebound fought for, and it'll come off into the hands of Dason Wright. And it will be a Senator foul. A lot of precious seconds went off the clock there. 7.6 left, and we'll walk to the other end. And that foul will be on Zink, and that'll be his fifth personal for sure, and he'll be gone on team foul number 15 of the half. And let's see who they call for. It'll be Chase Farmer, making his first entry into the ball game tonight, a 6'1" sophomore. Shoals is going to escape. They are going to get the win here tonight. Just a matter of what the final score will be. Right back to the free throw line. First one is up and good.
Again, got it down to a one possession game. These guys, I mean, and that's with a young team. I mean, you just have to learn. I mean,
missed the second one. Nichols will pull up, deep three, got it to go. And Coach Smith going to let time expire on this one, and the Jug Rocks of Shoals High School going to escape the Ron Smith court tonight with a 64-60 victory, and that avenges a 4-point loss that they had back on December 29th. They lost to the Senators 60-56, and here tonight they turn around and give it back with a 64-60 win over the Senators. Senators drop now to 8-14 on the year. Shoals moves rather to 9-12 on the season. A monster fourth quarter, just not enough for the Senators, but yet another game where somehow, some way, down 21 at one point at 51-30, they find a way to come clawing back into it and got it down to a one-possession ball game, believe it or not. But the Senators will fall just short here tonight on their home floor. And so we'll step aside. We will take a break, and we'll get a word in from a few of our sponsors, and we'll come back to begin our Ace Hardware of Salem post-game show right after this.
Yeah, hello, police. Yeah, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer? Nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Tough weekend for Senator Nation as they drop 2 in a row here on their home floor, losing tonight 64-60 in a rematch of that consolation game of the Springs Valley Holiday Tourney back on December 29th. Again, Senators win that first meeting 60-56, but tonight they are the 4-point victim as they fall short here. 64-60 is your final. And Coach, just, we questioned not necessarily the guts and the grit of this team, but just how much energy do you have left after you spent so much to try to hang tough with a good team in Class 2A last night, and give the boys credit. And I know when I talk about this with Coach Smith, when we talk about it, I know probably for people who listen to the games, it's going to sound like a bit of a broken record, but the fact remains, somehow, some way, these young guys, I don't know, it's something clicks internally within them, and it's that never say die. It's that fight, that they have within them to remain in these ball games, especially tonight down 21 on the back end of a double dip.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way you can question this team's heart and these guys. And you talked about the younger guys, and they're just used to winning, and they're going to do whatever they can to scrap back into it. Now, on the flip side of that coin, there were stretches there where we didn't play well defensively, and like you said, maybe we're a little bit tired where I didn't think the effort was real outstanding through the second and third quarters. First quarter, I thought, hey, this looks good. We're shooting well. But then the second, and what did we score? I think we scored 6 points in the second. We scored 8 points in the third. I mean, and then we gave up a bunch of easy baskets in those two periods as well. So, but like you said, when it comes down to it, though, I mean, boy, they scrapped and had 6 steals in that fourth quarter alone, 9 in the second half, but 0 in the first half. So maybe, we need to bring the defensive pressure just a little bit more, but that's easy for me to say. These guys have played 12 quarters. This, yeah, actually more than that, some in the JV games too. So it's actually, a lot of them have played at least 12 quarters and most of them more. So, I'm sure there was some fatigue that played into the factor there in the second and third quarters.
Let's run down some individual scoring as we await the appearance of Coach Smith from the locker room. Boys still in there as well after the tough loss here tonight at home. Again, 64-60 is your final. 64 points in all for the Jug Rocks, who with the win again moved to 9-12 overall on the year. They get 5 guys in double figures tonight in an extremely balanced effort. Leading the way off the bench, their leading scorer on the year, Clayton Tishner, comes in 15 points, all in the final 3 quarters of play. 10 apiece for Johnny Sukup and for Kenyon Sarles in the starting backcourt. Max Fisher chips in 2. Then Dayson Wright and Reese Sherrill carried the team basically in the second and fourth quarters. Wright with a huge fourth quarter, giving him 8 of his 11 in that final period. So he ends the night with 11. Reese Sherrill with 13. 11 of those 13, of course, coming there in that big run in the second quarter of play. And then again, Tishner with those 15 off the bench. Hawkins battled foul trouble tonight off the bench. He chips in 3 as well. That's your 64-point total on the evening. Rocks shoot 14 of 22 from the foul stripe for 64% after going just 3 of 4 in that first half for 75% and through that first 16 minutes of play. Tonight, though, the Jug Rocks, 5 turnovers in the first half of play, but 9 of them in the second half when the Senators were able to go on that explosive fourth quarter run to get back into it. So a total of 14 turnovers on the night for the Shoals Jug Rocks in the road win. Meanwhile, for West Washington with 60 points on the night, 4 points short of what they needed to try to force overtime in their comeback bid. They now fall to 8-14 on the year with 1 game remaining. That'll be senior night on Tuesday night, and we'll have more on that matchup and our information on that in just a moment. Tonight, the Senators led by 2 guys in double figures. Cam Zink, a career high for him, 18 points on the night, and all of that came in the second half of play. He hit 3 shots from downtown, 3 from 2-point range, and went a perfect 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Holden Bousman, a quiet night, just 2 points for him. Parker Green with 14, the other guy in double figures. That was spread throughout the 4 quarters of play, but he did not attempt a single free throw here tonight. Jake Strange chips in 4, all in that first quarter of play. He went 0-2 from the stripe. Nick Mars scoreless on the night. From there, Harrison Sanford, Caden Abels, Gavin Smith, Mikey Nichols, and Chase Farmer play in the game tonight for Coach Smith. Farmer, of course, coming in the closing seconds. He did not tally. Mikey Nichols with 8 points, all in that fourth quarter of play, including 3 of 3 from the charity stripe. He also chipped in a 3 and a 2-point basket. Gavin Smith with 3 points on an old-fashioned 3-point play in the second quarter. And then Caden Abels with 2 in the fourth quarter of play. Harrison Sanford tonight did not start. Rather, he came off of the bench, and he chipped in with 9, 5 of those 9 coming in the fourth and final period of play. Senators total out 60 points in all on the board tonight. They go 12 of 17 for 71% after going 3 of 7 in that first half for just 43%. 10 turnovers on the night, 3 in the first half of play, 7 in the second half. And then when you look at the scoring by quarter, it was 13-9 after that first quarter of play, as the Senators ended the first quarter on a 9-3 scoring run. The Senators, though, get worked 21-9 in that second, or excuse me, 21-6 rather, in that second quarter of play, and that led to the 30-19 deficit for West Washington going into the locker room. Third quarter, they get doubled up again, 16-8, as the Senators just could not get anything going in that third quarter of play. They trailed at 46-27 going into the fourth, and early in the fourth, after a couple of more baskets by Shoals, they were able to drive that lead to as many at one point as 21. They got it to a 51-30 score, thought the route was on, but hold the phone, here come the young Senators. Coach, they put up 33 points. I'll say that one more time. After 27 points through the first 3 quarters, they put up 33 33, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go back and double check the record books. That may be very close, if not a record, for scoring in a quarter. We'll have to see. Maybe not, because I know we were able to put up over 100 one year on Medora way back when, around Neil and Nim's time, so maybe not, but 33 in a quarter, absolutely outstanding when you're playing so many freshmen and sophomores. Senators outscore the Jug Rocks 33-18 in that final period of play, but Shoals, with enough of a lead going into the fourth, they're able to hang on and make some free throws down the stretch. 64-60 is your final here tonight. We talked about it in the pregame, the keys to victory in our John Jones GM City pregame show. We said we're going to keep it simple tonight. At home, shoot more than 15 free throws. Check. We did that. We shot 17. We hit 12 of them for 71%, which is better than our average.
Yep.
We said we had to have under 10 turnovers. We had exactly 10 on the night, 3 in the first half, 7 in the second half of play.
Check. I'd say 10 in a high school basketball game, 10 turnovers isn't that bad.
And we said win the paint. Well, with Nick not scoring, that really hurt us. And Harrison chipped in 9 off the bench, but then Gavin only had 3 on the night. Jake only had 4. So I wouldn't say we won the paint because they got so many layups and easy baskets in transition. So while we were very close,
rebounding edge too for them.
So you know, not winning the paint despite being very close and hitting our mark with free throws and with turnovers, we were so close in those two categories. Winning the paint, not something we were able to do, and that ultimately hurt us. Of course, they shot well from downtown, and you'll get to that here in a minute. But again, Senators got to applaud the effort. 33 points in the fourth quarter, just come up short.
Never been a problem for this team,
right?
And it won't be. I mean, even going forward, we talked about. Well, there's a stretch there where maybe the energy wasn't there, but I think that had more to do with the third game of the week. But effort will never be a problem with this team, I don't think.
And we've said it before, and sometimes maybe people get agitated at hearing this because I've heard coaches in the last 2 weeks alone on their coaches shows, especially, I've heard a lot of people, a lot of coaches talk about the amount of value and the amount of stock that you put into young players in your program from 3rd, 4th grade through the rest of elementary into junior high. And I've heard some of the local coaches say recently, you know what, the winning's nice and all, but at that age, it's not about how many games you win. It's about how you develop players. And while I agree with that to an extent, you could have some really fundamentally sound kids at the younger levels, and maybe they just don't know how to win as a team and play as a team.
Yeah.
So while that is important to develop players, and that's the goal even through JV of developing players, if you don't have some team chemistry and you don't have guys that know how to not only develop individually, but they don't know how to develop and win as a team, it's going to be hard to get them to do that at the high school level. And credit to these guys, these younger players, especially with all the success they've had growing up through elementary, Midwest youth tournaments, junior high. You could say what you want that winning isn't important at the younger levels, but I would beg to differ because the winning that they've experienced is what's driving these comeback efforts, because they refuse just to lay down, no matter if they're going against seniors or juniors or not. It doesn't matter. These young guys are going to fight, and our older guys showed fight as well. Cam chips in 18 all in the second half.
Yeah, Cam did a magnificent job, and you could just tell in his eyes and just the way, we've talked about it. Oh, it's getting helter-skelter. It's a lot of one-on-one, but that was part of his fight. He said, you know what, I'm a senior. I'm going to take this on myself, and I'm going to make shots, and he did. So, but I agree with your point. That's you have to learn how to win at some point. I mean, you can be as fundamentally sound, and that goes into winning, but if you don't know how to win, that's a struggle. So, and I equate it, to the success Brownstown's had football-wise. Obviously, they've had it in basketball as well, but football, it took a year or so for Coach May to get things going, and they started to learn how to win, and then it just snowballs. And I agree with you. You do have to taste some success. I'd rather win and be able to develop a little bit later.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're talking 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, build the fundamentals.
Which people's minds get blown in those games. That's a whole nother story, how wild people get over wins and losses at that age level. But what I'm saying is, I don't care if you're a basketball coach, a basketball fan, a parent, who you are. If you have the nerve to look at somebody in the face or look at me and tell me that winning's nice, but it really doesn't matter at those younger ages, you're out of your mind, because it's the winning that's been developed with these younger kids all the way up that's proving its worth here against these older teams, because they have not experienced this and they refuse to go down without a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like,
just drives me nuts.
We talked about, I forget what game it was. Like, it was an ugly win. I'll take a win every day.
Yeah.
Obviously as a coach, we're well aware you have to work the fundamentals and get better at things like that. But, I'll take a sloppy win over a technical loss every single time.
Absolutely. Tell you what, let's step aside. Coach Smith and some of the players yet to emerge. You see a few of the guys. Well, Coach Smith's starting to make his way down. I tell you what, let's do this. Let's step aside, take a break. We owe another spot to McDonald's of Salem there on South Main Street. We'll get a word from McDonald's, and we'll let Coach Smith join us here on our Ace Hardware of Salem post-game wrap-up from the Ron Smith Court right after this word from one of our sponsors.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sideline, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
We come to the Ron Smith Court here on our Ace Hardware Salem post-game wrap-up. Senators fall here tonight in a tough one, 64-60. And Coach, glad to have you here along here with us on the post-game. I know this is going to sound like a broken record, but yet another game where your guys refused to lay down and getting down 21, as we said, 51-30 there in the early stages of the fourth quarter. Maybe thinking all was lost. Boy, did they prove everybody in this gym wrong as they came roaring back. And how about this, Coach? 33 points as a team in that fourth quarter.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did lay down for a little bit. And I'm disappointed in our effort in the second and third quarter. I feel like Shoals just took us to the woodshed. I mean, we were going to let them. We were going to let them just take us to the woodshed. And coming out of the fourth, we had some guys step up, and you got to give Cam a lot of that credit. Cam stepped up, played like a senior and a leader, and played fearless, and that's how he needs to play. And that's he just didn't play like he was worried about anything else. He just went out there and played. And maybe it was the playing like he had nothing to lose there down the stretch, but that was good. We needed that from him, and hopefully he'll be able to build on that, because he stepped up and played real well, and it kind of sparked that, and then we picked up our tempo and were able to pressure them a little bit and get some turnovers, and you got to give the guys that were out there, they were fighting hard and battling. You got to give them a lot of credit for not giving up, but we did. I feel like we did lay down for a couple quarters. We were letting them pretty much do whatever they wanted to do, and that's disappointing. And we talked about that in the locker room a little bit. That's not what we're about. We may make mistakes, but we're not going to come out and just let people just do whatever they want to us. And I don't feel like we did that last night against a highly ranked, 2A 18 in a row win team. I thought we battled the whole time. And tonight, I don't know if we just didn't have it. We gave in to fatigue. The old saying, fatigue makes cowards of us all. I don't know if that was the problem in the second and third quarter, but we just didn't have it. And fortunately enough. And we kind of talked about that, put ownership on them. Say, hey, you're at that point, guys, where you got to figure it out. You know, you got to figure it out. And Cam stepped up, made some plays. So I mean, give him some credit. And then I thought Harrison played with really good energy tonight. You know, responded really well and gave a great effort and did some great things too. And those were two guys that you know we talked about we needed to see step up. You know, and they did. But it was too little, too late, unfortunately, and we just dug way too big a hole.
Yeah, and kudos to Cam Sink. He had a monster second half. 14 of those 18, or excuse me, 12 of those 18 coming in that fourth quarter of play, including 3 big triples in the midst of that big scoring run and comeback effort with that 33-point total in the fourth quarter. Coach, in the pregame, as we always give our keys to victory, we said we had to do 3 things tonight, and they were pretty simple ones, we thought. Win the paint. We had to shoot 15-plus free throws for the game. And I felt like if we kept it under 10 turnovers, we were in good shape. Well, tonight we had us 12 of 17 from the line. Check. We had 10 turnovers, pretty close to what we needed. But I felt like, and Coach Gibson and I discussed this before you come out, we felt like tonight in the paint, there were moments where we just didn't have maybe the energy that we needed. And, of course, a tough night offensively for Nick, who battled some foul trouble.
Yeah, that was huge, too. I mean,
yeah.
Nick got the 2 fouls. The one, you know, he's got to understand he can't go out looking for fouls. And he just straight up shoved a kid early and picked up his first foul. And then he got a second one battling the big kid. And, you know, I was fine with that foul. He was battling him. It just happens. But unfortunately, he picked up a silly one and got himself in foul trouble. And then that carried over into the second half. And he was just all out of sorts because of that. You know, I thought he had a tough call on a take to the basket for his third foul. You know, but that's the thing. Sometimes that happens. And he just had a tough night. But fortunately, Harrison stepped up his energy level and Cam, you know, came to play and, you know, gave us a chance. You know, Nick not been in foul trouble and, we, you know, gave his normal output and then we win the game. But, you know, that some things are out of your control and I felt like his fouls, other than the first one, you know, he was playing and they just happened. He's got to be smart and understand that we need him on the court. And he can't go out looking for fouls, and you know he did there right off the bat, and that came back to haunt us.
And now you'll have to turn your attention on yet another short amount of time to turn around here as we look to close out the regular season. Coach, you'll, of course, have tomorrow off, and all eyes will be on Indianapolis and those ping pong balls tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock as the tournament draw will be released for the boys tournament. Brought to you by the Indiana Pacers and Indiana Fever, and then you'll turn your attention quickly on a day's preparation on Monday to get ready for Michael Leitzman's club coming in on a snow makeup. That'll be not only senior night, but of course your final conference game as well.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tough one. I mean, they're a very good team. You know, Shoals just beat them. I think if we play our best, we're right there. You know, it's just going to be one of those games where can we play well enough to hold them in check enough to where we can maybe get over the hump. But you know, we've talked about just we got to understand that every possession matters, whether it's a 60-point game or a 30 or 40-point game. Every possession matters, and you can't come out and take things, you know, for granted at this point. And I thought we came out kind of flat and taking things for granted, and then we picked it up and got a little lead. But then Nick got in foul trouble, and boy, they just took it at us and took us to the woodshed for a couple quarters, and we just kind of laid there and let it happen, and that's disappointing. But you know, we got to do a better job and bounce back. You know, it's a new. There's one game left for Cam and Nick on this court, and you know we want those guys to go play their hearts out. And great sign from Cam tonight, and hopefully Nick will be able to bounce back and have a good game, and we'll be able to, you know, maybe get them a win on senior night, and then the tournament. You know, we just talked about, you know, if we play the way we are capable of playing, we're definitely a contender. If we come out and play like we played tonight for a couple quarters, and we're pretenders, and you know it'll be over real quick, and that's the decision we have to make, and it has to be a team decision, you know, and guys have to understand that, you know, when your name's called, you got to be ready to contribute and get it done, and you know we're not in a position anymore for guys to go out there and sleepwalk through things. You know, you know if you're going to be out there, you better be ready to play, and you know, we've got some guys doing that, you know, and I'm afraid that maybe they're just kind of packing it in a little bit and ready for something different. And I hope that's not the case, but, you know, we got to find out who's going to go out and fight and battle and and give their best effort. And again, if we do, we have a great opportunity, and hopefully guys realize that and they'll come to play here these last couple weeks.
Coach, we wish you all the best with the tournament draw. Of course, at the mercy of those ping pong balls tomorrow, but we'll wish you all the best in that tournament draw. We'll know more about that after tomorrow evening, and we'll look forward to talking to you prior to the tip here on Tuesday night.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach Smith, so kind to join us as always here on our Ace Hardware Salem post-game wrap-up. Senators fall tonight. 64-60 is the final, as we'll wait for Coach Gibson to pop back in here and give us our final team statistics. Again, Senators get 2 players in double figures tonight. Zink with 18, a career high for the senior guard, and Parker Green with 14. Meanwhile, 5 guys in double figures for Shoals here tonight. We'll let Coach Gibson throw the cans back on and let him roll through some team statistics.
Just talking to Ron Smith up there, and we just said basically it's as simple as one team made shots and one didn't. Shoals shot 54% from inside the arc for the game, 13 of 24, 9 of 13 from behind the arc. I mean, 69% on your triples, 60% total to our 44%. We went 15 of 30 inside the arc. That's 50%. You can't argue with that. 6 of 18 from downtown, 33, which is actually higher than our season percentage. If we shot 44%. It's a little bit lower than our season, but Shoals shot 60%. And then, again, we 12 of 17, like you said, what's that, 71%? Basically they made shots. They kind of owned the rebounding. That part did hurt us at times. They ended up with 6 offensive boards. And I remember a Tensioner and maybe Cheryl once, but Tensioner, I know, just off the top of my head, had at least 2 putback buckets. And I think Cheryl had one as well. So, like I said, Shoals wins the rebounding edge 28-17. Assist-wise was pretty even, 15-13 Shoals' favor. West Washington, 9 steals, 6 of them alone in that fourth quarter when they just started saying, okay, we got to get the ball back, and kind of ramped up the pressure a little bit. So 9 steals for us, 8 deflections. Holden had a block in the first quarter. Individual, like I said, I think, turnover-wise, 10, we can live with that. I think it really came down to basically Shoals hit shots, especially 9 of 13 from behind the arc. That was pretty big. So, that they hit shots, and we just kind of got stuff. What'd you say, we get down by 21?
Yep.
That's a big mountain decline, 21 points, and we almost did it with the grit and the guts that this young club shows, but you can't let yourself get that far behind. A couple of individual stats, rebounding, Holden and Parker each had 4 apiece to lead us. Holden had 8 assists, 4 in the fourth quarter alone. Holden also had 4 steals and a block. So he didn't really put the points up. He ended up with 2 points, but everywhere else Holden filled up the stat sheet. Honestly, obviously Cam had a wonderful night offensively. He also had 2 rebounds, an assist, a steal. So, that's pretty good for him too. So, honestly, it's just, I love the fight and the effort. We got one more. We got senior night on Tuesday. Be interesting. Tomorrow's sectional draw. Need a good draw.
Step aside. Let's take our final break of the night. We owe one more spot to Ace Hardware before Coach Bowsman and Bob Potter turned the lights out, or Coach Nance didn't pull either that or he didn't pull the credit card fast enough to pay the electric bill around here, one or the other. But we'll step aside, take our final break. We'll come back and name our player of the night and close things up right after this.
With the helpful hardware, folks. We just bought a fixer-upper, and I don't know where to begin. So I went to see Paul at our neighborhood Ace.
I told Nate we have everything he needs to help him repair their home, from a wide selection of paint colors, craftsman tools, and the best lawn and garden brands.
Ace is a place with exactly what you need, starting with help.
Save big all month long on Red Hot buys at Ace Hardware of Salem. Find current savings at facebook.com/Ace Hardware of Salem.
for the final time here to the Ron Smith Court. Tonight, the Senators fall 64-60. Time to name our player of the game, brought to you by Ace Hardware of Salem, and that'll go to the senior Cam Zink, a career-high 18 points on the night. He also pulled down 2 rebounds, had a steal and an assist, so congratulations to Cam Zink, our player of the game. Quick final thought, Coach.
Can't let this linger. Obviously, we wanted to get this one here on the home court. We didn't. You know, we got to get back into the gym. Luckily, you know, next week's a little bit lighter, right? We just play Tuesday, so a senior night, big night, an important night. So hopefully we can go. And I think, did this team beat Valley just last week? So, you know, it's not. We didn't turn out the way we wanted to in the holiday tournament over at French Lick, but that shows, you know, that teams have grown throughout the year, and maybe, you know, we can catch them and we can get us a win and head into the sectional, which, like I said, draws tomorrow. Hopefully we get a good draw, head into the sectional in a positive and confident manner.
We'll see you Tuesday night.
Absolutely.
Here tonight, Shoals with 5 players in double figures, and it's just too much for the Senators to overcome despite a 33-point fourth quarter. Senators falling here tonight on their home floor, dropping them to 8-14 on the year. As always, we want to thank the many fans that joined us tonight here on the 1220 dial. We appreciate that as always, and we want to give a final shout-out and thank you to all the sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator basketball possible. Those sponsors one final time include John Jones GM City, our pregame sponsor, Eddie Gilstrap Motors bringing you the Senator Halftime Report, and Ace Hardware of Salem bringing you this post-game show coverage from the Ron Smith Court here tonight, as well as McDonald's on South Main Street, Walmart of Salem, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, and Brady Bishop with Channel Seed. Without their generous support, we would not be able to do the job we love each night. The Senators are in action, so please do your part, Senator Nation, to let those sponsors know how much they are truly appreciated. For our studio engineer, back at the station tonight, Miss Becky White. A great job as always. For my sidekick and broadcast partner, Mark Gibson. And for our live stream video feed operator, Craig Akers, this is Misty Jones saying so long and good night from the friendly confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium, where the Senators fall tonight 64-60 is your final. We'll be back on the air for senior night coverage of the Senators and Blackhawks here from the Ron Smith Court on Tuesday night, 7:10 approximately, our pregame